Hey, remember Star Wars?
Yes.
Oh, shut up, you. Remember how it used to be this awesome space adventure with cool heroes, evil villains, epic action scenes, and inspirational messages about the importance of determination, loyalty, sacrifice, and redemption? Remember when people used to get excited at the prospect of new movies and TV shows that expanded on a rich and detailed world we all wanted to know more about? The first trailer for The Acolyte finally released yesterday, 4 years after the show was first announced and barely 2 months before it premieres on Disney+. And Jesus, it's already been ratioed into oblivion. But Drinker, you handsome roguish smuggler with a heart of gold, I hear you say. What's of the trailer itself? What does it tell us about the show? What's the tone and feel? What can we expect from the creative powerhouse of Leslie Headland? I mean, I definitely had fun playing a particularly challenging game of Spot the White Guy with this trailer, because damn man, this one shows enough to fulfill Disney's entire DEI quota for the next 2 fiscal years. For example, check out this collection of Jedi Padawans and see if you can identify the one demographic that's mysteriously left out. Anyway, as best as I could piece together from various interviews and whatever tidbits of information the trailer gave us, the general gist is that the show takes place in a time of peace and prosperity for the High Republic, with the Jedi presiding over a galaxy of order and happiness, because Leslie Headland thought it would be interesting to make Star Wars with no war in it. Apparently, she also wanted to explore the franchise from the perspective of the villains, because the bad guys are wildly outnumbered at that point and are the underdogs, which kind of explains this line right here.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power.
Ah, Star Wars, the classic story of good versus evil, which is no longer about good versus evil.
This is about power.
Power.
Tell me, why is so much of modern Hollywood about tearing down classic heroes and reframing villains as misunderstood anti-heroes? Why are they trying to dupe people into believing that nothing is intrinsically good or bad, that morality and objective reality don't actually exist, and everything comes down to what you personally feel? It's almost like once you stop people from believing in anything, then they'll eventually come to accept everything.
People struggle with loyalty because everybody is their own god, and everybody only has loyalty to their own desires, and then the culture perpetuates this, and then usually girls around your age think that your own desires is the only thing that matters, which kind of becomes your religion, and then it becomes your philosophy, and it becomes your god. So it's incredibly hard for people to be loyal.
Listen, the way that it was framed.
So you are your own god. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely not.
Right.
But I know my worth.
Basically.
I know my worth.
But how does it feel to be your own god?
I'm not my own god.
How does it feel to celebrate yourself like you are a god? Basically.
Pretty.
Hey everyone, this is Rock from StageandSky.com, and this is a quick video. I had to talk about what I was watching. What Critical Drinker said in his video about the Acolyte, which is Star Wars film, and what he said there cannot be. I wish like we could just make that a whole hour-long video. What he just said there about the Hollywood industry, because I did a video about Cat Williams. And Cat Williams talking about the gatekeepers of the Hollywood industry. I'm a writer. I'm an author. Since 2009, I wanted to be a screenwriter. I graduated from a film school, and my emphasis was on screenwriting. And I saw the gatekeepers, like in 2011, 2012. You know, in order for you to get a book published, you could self-publish, but really you want to go through traditional publishing, which means you have to get a literary agent, and agents are basically gatekeepers, all right? Hollywood has talent agents, you know, they have, when it comes to actors and actresses and even screenwriters. For books, publishing industry, there's the literary agents, and the literary agents are the ones who basically pitch you to publishers. I saw, this is back in 2012, 2013, 2014, almost every agency, they call, oh, we're all about diversity and inclusion, which we know is nonsense, right? I saw how every agency, what they're looking for is the LGBTQ stuff. And if you're black, they're looking for stories about adversity and overcoming adversity, all to push the narrative how we're all oppressed, and basically traditional morals, traditional standards is bad and evil, and we need to be loving everyone, and everything is acceptable and everything is free. And the fact that there are people like me who have standards, which is the Bible, we're the problem. And I saw Hollywood push this. The main thing I want to get across is that I recognized this way back in 2009. I was just graduating film school, and my screenwriting teacher, I wrote a script, like a little short premise, and he told me, Rock, people don't go to movie theaters to be preached to. That's what he said. And I told him, we had like this deep, engaging argument about it, because I told him, sir, Hollywood has always had an influence in the industry. Look at Rebel Without a Cause. Look at Roots. Look at, if you make it cool, look at Fast and Furious. Like, it's always had an impact on the culture. I think that Hollywood can dictate and basically control what we think is cool, what we think is hip, what we think is acceptable, which is, and things that we think is undesirable, things are lame, and things that you don't want. Look at hip hop. Hip hop is a big example of that, and we all know it, right? That's why you have Sexy Red being pushed up. Pink Book just did a video about Amanda Seals, who's a comedian, like 40 something, and Amanda was complaining about, oh,
if it wasn't for y'all, I would really think that I ain't doing because the industry I'm in does not recognize me. And to be clear, I'm speaking about the black spaces in the industry I'm in. The black spaces is what I'm referring to, which is largely in part why I realized like I need to shift out of this industry.
I'm like, well, that's because Amanda Seals isn't ratchet enough. Amanda Seals isn't hood enough. Amanda Seals isn't twerking and putting her thought pocket all over the red carpet. You know, like the industry is pushing, and Jason Willock's talking about this in his video where he talks about P. Diddy and the industry and how the industry, the corporations are picking and selecting basically representatives to dictate culture. And I wonder about that. You know, I could talk about, oh, it could be money, you know, the breakdown of families, because if you're not pouring into families, then you're pouring into other things. But all it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen, as you might have deduced with me being the kind of videos I produce, it's satanic. You know, it's the pulling away from God. Just quick aside, I have a coworker who's not with my job anymore, but he pulled a prank on me like 8 years in the making, where it was around Valentine's Day, I want to say 2015, and like our company did this thing where you could pay for $1 to send someone a chocolate bar, you know, and he did, because, you know, like everyone who knows me knows that ever since I was a teenager, all I ever want to do, my main number one goal in life is to get married and have a family. So he bought a bunch of chocolate bars for $1. He got people in his neighborhood to write to me, to Rock, secret admirer, and then he sent it to my desk, and of course that uplifted me, like, oh my god, there are people who actually like me, you know. And when he was leaving the company a couple of weeks ago, he put in the group chat, hey, I'll come out and admit this prank that I did. And he said that he pulled that prank on me. Like, all this time I thought that there were actually people who liked me, who had a crush on me, who, you know, oh, I'm a secret admirer of someone, and really it was just him who paid to have people do this chocolate bar. And that kind of stung when I saw it, but because I know the guy, I know he's an atheist, and we've had debates plenty of times, and I've known him for well over a decade, so it stung, but it's like, that's not surprising. You're an evil sociopath. That's basically what I thought. And yesterday, another coworker, I appreciate him saying this, another coworker approached me and was like, hey, you know, when the guy left, you know, he put that in the group chat, he thought we were all gonna laugh at that prank that he pulled on you, but that was very dark. It's a very mean thing that he did, and I'm like, thank you. You know, because once upon a time, things like that would have gaslit people like me, where, oh, Rock, it's all in your head, you know, it's just a joke, you're taking it too seriously. But really, you know, if it looks like a duck, it talks like a duck, you know, it's a duck. And I always thought this guy is very sociopathic. He's married, he has a kid now. I wish him all the best. I hope he stays married. You know, I wish nothing but good things for him. But the reason why I'm bringing up this story is because, again, he's an atheist. You know, like, his sense of morality isn't the same as mine. So I couldn't be mad at him. It stung, you know, the prank got me. But I couldn't be mad at him and say, man, it's messed up that you did that, because I'm like, well, your morals are already messed up to begin with.
There's no right, there's no wrong, there's only popular opinion.
To tie it all to what Critical Drinker is saying, because it relates to dating, I can tell you, as a 37-year-old man who wants to get married, because I live by a standard of right and wrong, you know, I live by a code of morality. You know, like what he just said, I'll play it again right here.
Why are they trying to dupe people into believing that nothing is intrinsically good or bad, that morality and objective reality don't actually exist, and everything comes down to what you personally feel? It's almost like once you stop people from believing in anything, then they'll eventually come to accept everything.
That right there is a huge problem as to why a lot of men aren't getting married, especially men who are a certain age, because I mean, there's been statistics that point out that most men in America are leaning conservative, whereas most women are leaning liberal.
The thing that we have here that's even worse is our partisan politics situation, where we know that boys are going to the right and women are going to the left, and increasingly they're saying that they refuse to date someone on the other side of the aisle. So more than half of women say that being a conservative is a red flag. More than half say listening to Joe Rogan is a red flag. And so I think we're kind of headed towards a demographical disaster if we can't bridge the divide, at least putting politics on the back burner for romance.
When it comes to actual, I'm only going to say conservative because there's a lot of conservatives who don't know the Bible, so they know a little bit, but they don't live by it fully. So I'm talking about behalf of myself, Christian, Bible practicing Christian men. It's going to be difficult for the good Christian women, the conservative women who have standards. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ones who are like Critical Drinker, what he was saying, like when you accept everything, because when you accept everything, you are your own God. Your sense of right, wrong is based on how you feel. And we as men cannot trust that because the court systems are stacked against us. Do you understand? You could wake up one day, no longer be happy, or you could wake up one day, have some guy at the gym or some new coworker, make moves on you because he looks good. He's giving you attention that I'm not giving you because I'm working hard to provide for the family and you. Your feelings start to invest in this guy. You start to love this guy, and everything that I do starts to bother you a lot, to the point where you're like, you know what, it's not working out, I want a divorce. And now you can take half my stuff, take our children, take our homes. And we've seen like good men, if all you guys who say you want to get married to good men see this. Good men are not with our head in the sands, right? We understand what's going on. Good men adapt. And for men like me who actually read the entire Bible, there are plenty of examples where Solomon, Joseph, these are our spiritual brothers who existed, and they're passing down lessons to us. And it's like, good men take that to heart. Who do I think I am when you have King Solomon, who's the richest, one of the richest, most wisest, most powerful men? He could get any woman he want, but in the end, it was his heathen wives that turned him away from God. Who do I think I am that I can get with a woman who doesn't know God, who accepts everything? And I think that my love, my attraction to, I'm so, she's going to be so enamored with me that there's no way she'll ever divorce me. There's no way that she'll ever fall for someone else. Who do I think I am that I can have that kind of control and influence on my wife, that she'll love me regardless forever? It's the Bible. It's the sense of morality that keeps you loyal. It's the sense of morality that keeps you honorable. That's why I always say that if you keep attracting dudes who are cheating on you and abusing you, who have no honor, it could be because you yourself have no honor. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because it's tough out here. And I want to encourage the men. I want to give kudos to the women who are living with a standard sense of morality, who see what's going on in the world. And a lot of them, we appreciate it when you have compassion for us. You don't say dumb things like, oh, your standard's too high. Rock, do you think that maybe you should? Because that's what the world's telling us. The world's telling us, Rock, leave your Christianity door. Rock, hide your Christianity, because the world's not accepting that. So if you want to get married, if you want to get all these hot women, you got to abandon God. And for us loyal men, for us men who live with honor, we're not doing that. I'm like, God has been with me my whole life. This woman didn't know I existed a year ago. So what kind of man would I be to throw God to the back seat and just because I want to get with her? And like I said, I don't want to rehash it, but that's not guaranteed that she'll stay with me. It's not guaranteed that she'll love me forever. And I think that when it comes to a marriage, a Bible long-standing marriage, it is the loyalty. And the loyalty it could be love, but also it could be the love for God. That's why, Matthew 6:33 says, seek first the kingdom of heaven. When you put God first, above your own wants, above the wants of your children, your aunts, your family, above the needs and the wants of your own race. Because a lot of people say, oh, you're black, I'm black, we're people. No. Jesus Christ said, who are my people? Who are my mother? Who are my father? All who do the will of the Father, God in heaven, those are my brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter what your race are, but there are a lot of people who worship their race. Oh, if you date black, oh, if you date white, then I can't date you. I'm like, we're humans, man. Christian, I'm Christian. Boom. I don't care if she's Asian, Indian, it doesn't matter. She looks good, she loves me, she's Christian, I'm marrying her. Boom. All right.